You know what I'm saying? So we are live in both TikTok and YouTube. So TikTok, don't get discouraged when you see your boy hadn't popped over there for a minute to say what's up when I'm connecting with this YouTube live audience. Better Delta Parts, Miss Stanley, what's happening? We are live in both areas. YouTube, what's popping, people? Your boy Snacks is in the building. I gotta get my mic without doing all that extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Oh, YouTube, what's popping, people? Your boy Snacks is in the building with another banger. Y'all know how we do. Before we get started, we got to shout out you, the people, for taking the time out to come through and holler at us in the live stream. But while you're here, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section. Freaking TikTok is also in the building. So if you are not subscribed to my TikTok or my YouTube channel, make sure you go by and do both. You know what I'm saying? Who is in my stream? Quiet Storm, Bob Band, RC Weathers. What's up? Shedeur Sanders is always the topic. Michael Lockhart, what's up on YouTube? Y'all make sure y'all let us know where you from and where you dropping in at when you in the YouTube chat. If you guys on TikTok are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, the link is in the bio. And you can always come over and say what's up because we get kind of crazy over here on YouTube and go hard in the paint. Shedeur Sanders is the topic today, and with a lot, Weathers, Rhonda, what's happening with a lot of things that are popping off. With a lot of things that's popping off today. All right, now put my live stream on my one of my main monitors. YouTube, let's get it popping. Let's pop it off. Y'all know how we get started. Before we get started, y'all know what to do. Make sure you holler at our ladies, the CU aunties. When you see them in the chat, make sure you shout them out. Tell them thank you. Show them some love for giving us all the support that they give us and for doing the things that they do when they come through and show love in the chat and doing so in the live stream and the comment section. So when you in there, make sure you holler at them and say what's up while they in the building. East Coast Kev, Val, Michael. So as we start our topic today, and why I say Shedeur Sanders is a prop for Cleveland. Cleveland needs this clout. Cleveland has been on a quarterback chasing mission since 2000, really since 1999, since they entered back into the NFL. And we are on year 26, and Cleveland has never solidified a quarterback at all, period. None. They have had 40 quarterbacks in 26 years. And as we've stated in previous videos, Cleveland is looking for lightning in a bottle when it comes to the quarterback position, which they haven't been able to find in the last 26 years. Instead of building a team around the quarterbacks they have, they are in search of a quarterback first, and then we'll build around that quarterback instead of building a team of linemen, linebackers, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, safeties, wide receivers, cornerbacks. They're in search of a quarterback. and it's led to this moment. They've had a few reputable quarterbacks in the number of years that they've been back in the league. What's up, Ozzy Marlboro? What's up, everybody on the TikTok side of things that are joining the chat? We say what's up to y'all. We are, as Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco maneuver through this unstable quarterback battle in the next few weeks. And in the weeks that are coming up, it's going to be hard for Kevin Stefanski and Mr. Berry to position themselves out of the trouble that they have put themselves in. And while y'all over there on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen and get those lights up for me, please. And while they are positioning themselves for a terrible, terrible decision with 4 quarterbacks, 5 being Deshaun Watson, who is not really on the team. He is sort of right now a certified coach in a way while he's trying to heal and get himself back into football shape from that injury that he re-injured his Achilles earlier in the year. But as we start to look at Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry and the situation that they put themselves in when it comes to the Cleveland Browns with this 4 quarterback situation, it's kind of scary, seeming that the Browns have not put themselves in a good situation in years. And I do mean years. The Browns have been searching for a quarterback. And of course, every now and then they'll bring in that one superstar player, i.e. Myles Garrett, i.e. a superstar receiver like they have now. But they haven't put themselves in position to win in years. Cleveland has never been to a Super Bowl. Cleveland has never won their division in 30, 40 years. Since 1989, the Cleveland Browns last won their division. That's a lifetime ago. That is a lifetime ago. Art Modell sold the Cleveland Browns to the Baltimore Ravens, and they haven't been relevant since. It's like the ghost of Art Modell is paying them back for not letting him build that stadium, for not letting him move the team forward, and the team has been stuck in effigy ever since. I mean, it has been bad for the Cleveland Browns. But as we sit here with this 4 quarterback anomaly, there's only one other team in the NFL that also has 4 quarterbacks, which is the New Orleans Saints, as they have 4 quarterbacks in their locker room. And they put themselves in a pickle and dug themselves the same hole that the Cleveland Browns have dug themselves into, because they're going to draft Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU next season when the draft opens up, because his father is the offensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints, which is, I don't even know why they drafted Tyler Show in the 2nd round, which was a dumb move, but they did that to get off of Shedeur. Cleveland drafted Dylan Gabriel to seem as if they weren't going to draft Shedeur, which was stupid, knowing they knew that they were going to draft Shedeur. Well, Stefanski and Berry might not have known, but Jim Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, he knew that he was going to eventually draft Shedeur Sanders in the draft. That was their penance. for the Deshaun Watson deal, giving him all that guaranteed money, making Cleveland a scapegoat, because Cleveland was going to draft Shedeur, OG, Jesse, Myra. Cleveland was going to draft Shedeur in the first round. There's no doubt about it. They should have drafted Travis Hunter and then came back into the first round and drafted Shedeur and kept that pairing together. There's no way anybody can convince me that Cleveland wasn't going to draft Shedeur with the amount of resources that they poured into Shedeur in the pre-draft process. The amount of visits that they took to Colorado to visit with Shedeur, to talk to Shedeur, to watch him practice. And then they did it again at the combine. They did it again at the East-West Shrine game. They did it again at his pro day. And they had already done it several times before then. So with the amount of resources that Cleveland poured into Shedeur Sanders, there's no way you spend that amount of resources on a 5th round draft pick. It's not possible. People don't do that. You only do that if you plan to draft that quarterback very, very high in the first round. When you put that amount of resources into a player or into a situation. Cleveland absolutely screwed the pooch because they didn't do what they should have done, which was draft Travis Hunter with the 2nd pick, come back into the draft in the first round before 21, before Pittsburgh had their pick, and select Shedeur Sanders and kept that pairing together. The Heisman Trophy winner and the person that threw him the ball to help him earn that Heisman Trophy. The same way Tennessee went back to Miami and got Cam Ward's #1 receiver in respect of, came back and got Shedeur Sanders, is what the Cleveland Cavaliers should have done. But being Cleveland, and Cleveland being Cleveland, as we say on TikTok, y'all make sure y'all ain't hitting the like button. Y'all ain't getting the likes up on the page. Get the likes up on the TikTok, man. What we doing over here? Y'all tripping. That's what we doing on the TikTok. They tripping on TikTok. Y'all get them likes up on the TikTok, man. Y'all stop acting like that. But Cleveland screwed the pooch and screwed themselves, because now they have wasted, if they're looking in all forms of publications, every reporter that reports on Cleveland, even including ESPN and Fox, have said for the last few weeks that Cleveland is going to draft a quarterback in the first round of next year's draft with one of those 2 first-round picks that they have. If that is the case, this season's draft is a wasted draft for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, the Cleveland Browns. Even though the Cavaliers always screw up their draft, but that's neither here nor there. The Browns going back into the draft to draft another quarterback means that you have wasted several draft picks in this draft. You wasted 3 draft picks on Shedeur alone, because you went and traded 2 draft picks, and then you drafted Shedeur with the 144th pick, which means that's 3 picks. You wasted a pick on Dylan Gabriel. That's 4 picks. You traded a pick to get small hands Kenny Pickett. That is another wasted pick. Arthur, what's up? All Snails, what's up? You wasted another pick. What's up, Roger? You wasted another pick you wasted several picks, which means you weren't able to draft offensive linemen, linebackers, what you need to have, receivers. Jared Jeudy is your prominent wide receiver. Where's your prominent number 2 wide receiver? Where's your rookie wide receiver that you can get ready for the next season? They didn't do that. They did none of that. Frederick, Sophia, they did none of that. Nothing they've done has prepared them to move forward in this draft. And if you're looking to draft another quarterback in next year's draft, that means you're going to have 2 second-year quarterbacks and a rookie quarterback in your quarterback room for next year. That is dumb. That is stupid. That is not moving forward. That is dragging your team backwards all day long when you don't have the linemen, because this line that Cleveland has is old. All of these linemen are old, and most of them are going to move on after this season anyway. Cleveland has done the worst job in moving forward than any other team in the National Football League. If you wanted to, you need an example. Look at Philadelphia. Only thing Philadelphia has been doing was going to the SEC and stacking linemen and stacking linemen and stacking defensive linemen and stacking linebackers. All of them are from the SEC. The majority of the Philadelphia Eagles starting players are out of the SEC. That's all they've been doing. Stacking players. They've been building. Unlike Cleveland, year after year after year, wasting draft picks, searching for a quarterback, doing everything you can to get a quarterback instead of building what you have and moving forward. Cleveland hasn't done that. Philly did that. They built the team, and then the quarterback that they had, no matter how good or how bad he was, even Kenny Pickett won with that offense in New England. In Philadelphia. Even Kenny Pickett did well in that offense. So you tell me, what has Cleveland done to say this is what we're doing to move forward in the future? Nobody knows. Cleveland is too busy looking for their savior in a quarterback. And Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry should be fired for not building the team. You picked 2 running backs this season. You needed that. Your 5th pick was a defensive tackle. And you could have got by without getting a defensive tackle. Should have got some offensive tackles. That's what you should have been getting. Somebody that's going to protect your quarterback. But you drafted 2 quarterbacks. You traded for a quarterback. And then you brought in the veteran Joe Flacco as if he's here to save the franchise again. It's not going to happen. Kevin Stefanski was hired when Baker Mayfield was there. Kevin Stefanski was part of bringing in Deshaun Watson. And nothing has changed in Cleveland. So what makes you think that Kevin Stefanski can develop 3 quarterbacks, let alone the 2 you had that was pre-developed before you got there? But Baker left. And now he's shining in Tampa. He had a few other stops along the way. But now he's throwing for 4K in Tampa. What are they doing in Cleveland to get better? Nobody knows. Nobody's seen it. Nobody wants to say. Everybody is too focused on getting a quarterback, and the fan base don't know what to do. They don't know who to believe in, what to think, and who's going to actually be their starting quarterback. Because as G. Bush has said several times, the fan base is delusional because they've been hurt several times over and over and over again by the quarterbacks that they're looking for. Come on, TikTok. They are hurt over and over and over again by the quarterbacks that they're looking for, that they don't know what to do. They actually don't know what to believe in, because every quarterback that they have believed in the last 26 years have let them down. G. Bush.
Where I come out on the Shedeur Sanders thing specifically.
Yeah.
The Deshaun Watson things was so bad for certain people.
On TikTok.
The Baker Mayfield thing was
Angela,
so disruptive for certain people that everybody is just saying, no, I don't want to make no decision or nothing. Please smack me in the face and just show me.
Listen to TikTok.
Okay.
Let me just, but smack
make
me.
Make it obvious.
Make me love you.
Yeah, make it obvious. Yeah.
Right. And so I think that's why there's so many people at arm's length distance. Like,
so where was the hurt, or where was the distrust happening there with Shedeur for some people over a stretch where he didn't play football, though? Because he said it wasn't the speeding, said it wasn't the car incident, wasn't anything to do with that. What happened in this 3-week stretch?
There is a level of, if you talk to people, and I think it's this, there's a level of them not understanding whether or not it's optimism or hype.
What we getting now?
You can be optimistic about somebody and not be hyping them.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Shedeur Sanders throw the ball well and say, man, I liked him at number 2 and number 33. If I liked him at 2 or 33, of course I'm going to be ecstatic, and I got him in the 5th round. Yeah. I think he could be a franchise quarterback, and we got him for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People assume that it's you just hyping him up because they don't think you know what a real quarterback is supposed to look like.
And T. Bush is right. They don't know what a real quarterback is supposed to look like. And that's the problem. Cleveland hasn't seen a good quarterback since they've come back into the NFL since 1999. They have not seen a good quarterback at all, period. Zero, zilch, nada, nothing. Since Tim Couch, or should we say Bernie Kosar, one of the two, you take a pick. They have not seen a quarterback, a good one. Mind you that they have had 40 quarterbacks in 25, 26 years. And that's the problem. Not just the fan base, ownership, GM, coaches. You're looking for a specific thing instead of doing all the other things around it. You're looking for that one quarterback to put you over the top instead of building the pieces around your team. So even with a subpar quarterback, a bad quarterback, or a somewhat decent quarterback, your team will play well. But they haven't done that. Yeah, Joe Flacco came in 23 and took them to the playoffs. But Cleveland hasn't won its division, hasn't won a Super Bowl, haven't even been to a Super Bowl. Ever. Super Bowl. They've never been to a Super Bowl as a franchise. The Cleveland Browns have never been to a Super Bowl. And that in itself is ridiculous. Because all you can hear on Cleveland Browns radio, all you can hear on ESPN is, how are they going to get to a Super Bowl? That should not be your goal. As a team, as a franchise, that has never even sniffed a Super Bowl or a division championship. That should be, your goals should be smaller than that. Getting to the playoffs, getting past the first round of the playoffs, winning your division, getting to the championship game. That should be your goals in that order. Super Bowl should be way down the street. Shouldn't even be thinking about it, because that's something you have never obtained and never achieved, never even thought about. But that's all we hear you talking about. But now that you have Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback that you have in your locker room. And Kevin Stefanski and they're worried about their image. They're worried about how it's going to look publicly if Shedeur starts over Dillon Gabriel, when it should be an easy fix, because no matter how you look at it, you're going to come out of this looking stupid simply because you drafted Dillon Gabriel and you drafted Shedeur. If your plan is to fail for next year, neither one of these players should have been drafted. If your plan was to draft a quarterback for next season, neither one of those quarterbacks should have been drafted at all, period. Zero. Because now you're in a dilemma. You're in a quandary because your fan base wants to see Shedeur. The players around Shedeur on this team say Shedeur is the best looking quarterback on the team. But yet and still, you've hidden that from the public. You haven't put that in public view. You've only given Shedeur reps with the twos in public, not with the ones. G. Bush.
Yes, look, man. I just take a look at which I like the way he's moving with this, man. You see, because I've always thought from Jump Street, if you just throw him out here and all of a sudden he's like, oh, he's competing with Flacco today, you know what people would say? They say, oh, here y'all go giving people another, you just let him, he didn't earn anything. You just let him 5th round pick, you threw him out there, he didn't earn nothing, you didn't find nothing about him, we're going to give you first team
before
reps.
he gets anything, he's got to beat Flacco.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but if he was today.
I'm okay with them giving him reps to compete with Flacco.
Well, there would be a lot of people that would be okay with that.
I am.
Because they would say.
Competition, let's go.
They would say, you know what, he was the 3rd round, he was a 5th round pick over a 3rd rounder. They went and got Kenny Pickett first, and Joe Flacco knows the offense. So they'll say, why is it this guy is getting all these reps with the ones, and those other guys are mixing it in with him? I like the approach. You know why? Because guess what? It's mini camps, and you can say when he does start, or he does get an opportunity, there will be nobody or no detractor can look at you in your face and say he did not earn it. No one gave him anything. He was a 4th team quarterback all the way into camp until he started getting reps, and then that keeps your credibility as a coaching staff to say, I told you it was a real competition, and if you start off 5th, you're going to have to climb some stuff. So for me, I'm hoping this is what happens. I hope he gets his rep when the regular camp comes, and then you know when we're going to find out if he's different or not? When they get the pass on him. And then it's undeniable.
Sure.
Exactly. That's been my thinking the whole time. And you cannot misconstrue what G. Bush is saying, because he and myself have said this the entire time since rookie minicamp. They're going to slow walk it to try to make themselves look good, to make it seem as if Shedeur has earned his rightful place with the one, when we already know, we've already seen that there's a difference between Shedeur and everybody else on the field. every other quarterback in that quarterback room, we see that there's a major difference. You can say Joe Flacco has the experience, but that's it. And experience comes with playing. The more Shedeur plays, the more experience he gains. And I'm not saying I've championed this from day one. Shedeur doesn't need to start the season at all, period. I don't want him out there game 1 or game 2. After 3, have that. Just don't wait till game 8 and say, okay, let's see what we got. By then, your team is tired, players are beat up, and you don't know who's giving it 100 because by the end you're 1-7 and ain't no chance of getting to the playoffs, and your teammates have thrown in the towel and they don't give a shit. You don't know what you got. But if you throw them in there game 3, game 4, oh, definitely. Because at that point, there's still a chance. And at that point, who's behind the center, players play better or go harder for the quarterback they believe in, for a quarterback they think can get them somewhere. You might see a little pep in the step. We'll get to super chat in a minute. Y'all know super chats go up when they go up. But players play harder for a quarterback they believe in. Players go harder for the quarterbacks that they want to play for. So you might see a change in what happens when Shedeur Sanders is on the field. Now, training camp starts in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be hard to keep Shedeur off of first team reps because we've seen him with third team. We've seen him with second team. Only thing the public hasn't seen him with is the first team. The players and the team have seen him with the first team. It's just the public that haven't seen him. Why do you think these players come out and say Shedeur looks different? Shedeur can spin it. You don't hear other players come out talking about Dylan Gabriel look like that boy. He that man. He out there getting down, doing the damn thing. Ain't that right, Uniquely Me? They ain't out there talking crazy, Cynthia. They ain't out there bragging about Dylan Gabriel, Christina. They ain't out there doing all that. James, Granny, dude, how many people y'all hear bragging about Dylan Gabriel? None. Yes, Shedeur Sanders has the biggest profile when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. But no matter how big your profile is, if you are the best quarterback in the room, the players are going to talk about you, no matter what. So you can't blame Shedeur Sanders' profile on the amount of attention he gets. That's not his problem. His problem is that he's better than everybody else. Everybody sees it, and now they're saying it. And come training camp, when the rest of the world sees it, then the dilemma is going to become, what game is he going to start? Uniquely Me. That's when the dilemma is going to start, Cynthia. That's what they're going to do. They're going to wonder, what the hell? When is Shedeur going to start? Why we haven't seen him on the field yet? See, because we got 3 preseason games. We don't have 4 anymore. They took one away because they put in that 18th game. They trying to get that moolah, that munyon. So, how are the preseason games going to be played out? Is the question. Shedeur going to start one game. Dylan start a game, play a half. Shedeur start a game. Dylan play the other half. Third game, everybody play a quarter. What we gonna do? What we doing? Because at some point, whoever your starting quarterback is, they're gonna have to start getting more reps than everybody else. So you tell me what's gonna happen at that point. See, because what we've been talking about and what we've been thinking is the way that should happen is the way that I just said it. Shedeur starts a game, Dylan starts a game. Whoever starts plays the second half. Shedeur was the best quarterback in college. He's the best statistical quarterback in college. He's the most accurate quarterback in college history. He has been the most consistently accurate quarterback in OTAs and minicamp. So from point A to point B, nothing has changed in the gameplay and who he is or what he's done. Aaron, what's up? Nance, nothing has changed in any of that. So you tell me, what do they do? How do they fix the situation?
He was first in college football history in terms of accuracy by completion percentage. He's apparently the first dude in life history to get a speeding ticket. Like I got to keep track of what we really care about, right? You know, is it the ball padding or is it the speeding ticket, right? Because we know how speeding tickets work. And yes, don't speed, slow down, especially at 100 miles an hour.
Exactly. So what are we doing? They attacked Shedeur Sanders over that speeding ticket like he had committed murder. Like he had done something that nobody else has ever done in life. When in the same day, there was a first round draft pick in the NBA that got a speeding ticket for going 101 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. Zach Edey. So what are we doing? Yes, Shedeur has a bigger profile. Yes, he's a better player. But when is Cleveland gonna put it front stage and let the world see it? They running out of time to hide it. The people at 92.3 The Fan think that Cleveland is going to tank this season and go after another quarterback.
What it is, the most exciting quarterback on this roster is Shedeur Sanders.
Yes, without question.
The most practical quarterback on this roster would seem to be Joe Flacco. The second most practical would be Kenny Pickett. Is this season a tank without admitting it? Do I have to admit that this season is a tank? Because the moves that they've made this offseason, that's not tanking. No. Giving Myles Garrett a whole bunch more money and making sure that he's a Brown for the rest of his career and bringing back Joel Bitonio, being encouraging of Joel Bitonio coming back. Not trading away some of the other names, which, yes, again, is easier said than done with dead cap space and everything like that. But again, if you were to be moving on from you-know-who, you don't care about dead cap anymore. You're firmly tanking for everybody to know. Do I have to admit that this year is about the next year and the year after that?
I think so. I think
I don't think that they're willing to admit. That's why I'm not.
So what are they going to do? Are we tanking for a quarterback in the first round next season, which is stupid? Are you going to sit Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel for 6 to 7, 8 games and then try to figure it out and split the remaining starts of the season amongst those two. And then by the end of the season say, well, we don't know what we have in the quarterback room, so we're just going to draft another quarterback in the first round, which would be one of the dumbest moves ever, because you already got 2 young quarterbacks. Now you want to have 3 in one locker room, no veteran presence, no nothing. That would be one of the dumbest moves in NFL franchise history. How are we even doing that? TikTok? Somebody talk to me over there. I don't see no questions. What the hell are we doing? Why are we doing? Why would they like? Why would you even put this on the table? Why would this even be an option to draft a quarterback in the next year? You got 2 first-round draft picks. You got 2 rookie quarterbacks. Why would you need another one? Why are you not trying? Like I've been saying, this has been Cleveland's problem for years. You're not trying to build for your future. You're too busy trying to find one quarterback that's going to lead you to the promised land. But if you don't have nobody to protect that quarterback, if you don't have nothing for that quarterback to throw to, how are you going to get there? How do you intend to keep getting to the playoffs? How do you intend to win your division, let alone get to a Super Bowl, if you don't have what you need as far as the rest of your team goes? Jared Jeudy is a lone #1 receiver. Everything else is questionable. I don't want to hear about Deontay Johnson, who came from Pittsburgh, because he hollering about Kenny Pickett is his quarterback, because Kenny Pickett was his quarterback at Pittsburgh. You know why he won't Kenny Pickett at his quarterback? Because when he was at Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett threw at him 137 times that first season. Yeah, I would want Kenny Pickett as my quarterback too. Kenny Pickett is no good for Kevin Stefanski's offense. Shedeur is the best fit because he's ran it. He knows it. I don't want to hear that bull crap about he don't know the lingo or he having trouble trying to understand. Put a doggone playbook on his wrist, like most quarterbacks. This is the NFL. They can talk to you in your head, in your helmet. There's a lot of ways around the amount of excuses that they trying to give for Shedeur Sanders not to start. There are a plethora of excuses that we hear from Mary Kay Cabot, Tony Grossi, and others on why Shedeur Sanders shouldn't start. And it's ridiculous when he's the #1 option in your locker room. It's kind of crazy to me. I don't understand it. We've been beating our brains about it all freaking offseason. We already understand why he was picked in the 5th round. We know what happened there. That's all NFL trying to punish Shedeur and Deion for being who they are. Trying to show Deion that he don't run shit. Trying to show Deion Sanders that, hey, your last name is not Manning. You don't hold that kind of weight over here. But we've gotten past that point. And I don't want to hear the NFL don't collude. Then tell me why Colin Kaepernick ain't got no job. That simple as that. NFL don't collude? Okay, tell me why Kaepernick didn't have no job when he was better than a lot of quarterbacks, even backups, that was in the NFL at that time. Tell me that. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, the NFL colludes. Yeah, this is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's no question that happens. So you can't give me all that other crap because that's what they do. They don't play fair. They think they are above board and can't nobody tell those 32 owners what to do. Minority owners don't count because you don't have no say. You just get your money and shut up and sit down somewhere. So here we are, 2 weeks before camp starts. Shedeur is in Miami working out. Cam Ward, know where he at? In Miami with Shedeur working out. Because they both got the same quarterback coach. In 4 years, you haven't seen Shedeur, you have seen Cam. They have been together side by side, working out with Daryl Colbert wherever they go. So, if you see video of Shedeur and you only see a piece of the screen, that's because Cam is over there working out too. And then you'll see a separate video of Cam later. They are really, really good friends, despite what the media tries to put on them. Big Mo, what up? Via the gamer. It's just that Cleveland has put themselves in such a predicament that there is no way out of this situation without looking like idiots. And Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry have to make up their mind if they are going to focus on putting players around their quarterbacks so the team can get better as a whole, not just piece by piece, not just by adding a receiver and then 3 years later adding a linebacker. Then your receiver's old and he finna go somewhere else. And it's been that way in that cycle in Cleveland. One piece at a time, instead of adding piece after piece after piece after piece after piece, trying to get better and stacking those pieces on top of each other. They just been trying to do it in one piece. We got one piece on offense, one piece on defense. That's all. Now we just got to find the quarterback. And every 3 years is we got to find the quarterback. Every year is we got to find the quarterback. Stop looking for a quarterback and build your team. It's ridiculous over here. It's to the point to where now the narrative around Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel will probably change next week. After this 4th of July weekend, the narrative on Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel will probably change. It will go into who's next. See, because they're going to move off of Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. And the focus is going to start becoming more of Gabriel and Shedeur. Because everybody is starting to realize those two are not the future. Me and G. Bush been screaming it from the mountaintops since the draft. Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco are not the future of the Cleveland Browns. Y'all can forget it. Y'all can throw the whole damn thing away. That is not it. They are not it. Your future is really Shedeur because Dylan Gabriel has these anomalies that he's under 6 feet and he's left-handed. He's not a hell of a runner. He can run, but he's not an athletic quarterback. He doesn't have those intangibles that blow you out the water. But that's what they said about Shedeur, let alone he's just the most accurate quarterback in college history. He played with a bad O-line and still completed over 70% of his passes. They still thinking about the fact that the man said, if you want to change the future of your franchise, you want to change your culture. If you don't want to do that, then don't draft me. That's what they focus on. But once again, that was the truth. He didn't tell no lie, because all he's done is change the culture and change the programs everywhere he went. He changed it at Jackson. He changed it at Colorado. There is no difference. But NFL owners got salty because he said it loud and in public. So here comes the inventions of the narratives of Shedeur Sanders being hard to deal with. Shedeur Sanders coming to meetings unprepared. Shedeur Sanders doing this and doing that. Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, with the bravado, with all the people watching him, with the big following, with over 2 million, 3 million followers on Instagram, big ass YouTube channel. He done made $10, $20 million in college. So what? What's the problem? You didn't have a problem when Johnny Manziel was doing it, Cleveland. You didn't have a problem when Baker Mayfield was doing it, Cleveland. But you got a problem with Shedeur Sanders doing less than they've done, being more of a positive fixture than the negative incantations that they brought with them to Cleveland. So if Shedeur Sanders was a drinker and hanging out all night and a party boy, he would have been embraced. He would have been loved, because he would have been that expected fuck up that Cleveland could say, come on, son, we got your back. We gonna take care of you. That's what they wanted. But since he wasn't that, since he came in there with his chest out and was like, hey, I'm here to make you better. I need to know how we gonna do this and how we gonna do that. Since he had questions in those meetings, since he had questions because his dad prepped him for these type of situations, and most organizations weren't used to those things. They weren't used to a rookie player having questions, Snicker. They weren't used to a rookie player wanting information, Monroe. They weren't used to those types of things, George. What they were used to was telling people what to do. This is what we need you to do. We want you to come play. We don't want you hanging out. We'll put you in the media sessions, and then we'll give you the answers to the questions as we want you to present yourself. But Shedeur came into the program bigger than the program itself. Shedeur has more followings than the Cleveland Browns as an entire organization on any platform. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I don't care where you go. Pinterest, Reddit. He is just bigger than the organization. And they wanted to quell that before he got there. But instead, they made it bigger by trying to punish him. And now they really don't know what to do with it. Because not only did he grow by y'all making that dumbass mistake of drafting him in the 5th round? Turns out he better than everybody else you got in the locker room. Damn it. We gonna draft in 5th round. We hoping they gonna be better than him when we can just throw him back in there in the corner and we ain't gotta worry about it. Because we can say, yeah, he's still just a 5th round pick. And this guy over here is better. We gonna but that's not the case. That wasn't the case. It didn't get better. It got worse. It got way worse. And now they're trying to figure out what in the hell are we going to do with this? Because once camp starts, and what's up, True King? And once these joint practices start, they have a joint practice with the Eagles. I think they got 2 with the Eagles and 1 with the Carolina Panthers. It's going to get crazy, especially the one with the Carolina Panthers. The one with the Panthers, Jimmy Horn is on that team, which was one of his favorite receivers coming into the NFL draft. All of Shedeur Sanders' receivers were drafted. Out of 132 colleges in FBS football, the Colorado Buffaloes was the only team that had all their receivers drafted into the NFL. They didn't have but one quarterback throwing to them. So Dylan Gabriel, who made the Big Ten championship, who made the playoffs, his receivers didn't get drafted. Mind you, all of Shedeur's receivers, except for Travis, come from lower D1 schools, and they were unknown before they got to Colorado. Nobody heard of those guys. Xavier Weaver played for the Cardinals last year, went undrafted, and now he's on the 53-man roster. But nobody heard LeJohntay Wester. Y'all wasn't checking for LeJohntay before he got to Colorado, even though he was out there balling. Y'all wasn't checking for Jimmy Horn before he got to Colorado. Nobody was. Nobody, well, I ain't gonna say there wasn't nobody checking for Travis, because everybody was checking for Travis. Travis is that boy. Travis is that man, you know. But what I'm saying is, the receivers that got drafted into the NFL weren't expected to be drafted into the NFL if they didn't go to Colorado. Shedeur makes players better, regardless of where they're at or who they are. So what Cleveland should be doing is wrapping their arms around Shedeur Sanders, putting that investment into Shedeur Sanders and saying, we got 2 draft picks in the 1st round next year. Depending upon how this season goes, we know we need offensive linemen. Are we going to draft 2 offensive linemen in the 1st round, or are we going to get an offensive lineman and a receiver? That's what you should be thinking. Because we know what the outcome is. They know what the outcome. I promise you, they already know that Shedeur is better than everybody else in that room. They're just trying to save face and do shit the right way so they don't look like complete idiots. They're going to look like idiots so they don't look like complete idiots. The same offense that Shedeur ran last year is a variation of Kevin Stefanski's offense right now. Why do you think they keep saying he don't know the terminology? He don't understand what to do when he breaks the huddle. Like G. Bush said, they were calling the same plays on this field that they were calling on that field. So for somebody that doesn't understand the playbook or doesn't understand the terminology, how does he have more completions than the ones that do? Look like they need more understanding of the playbook and where to go. How is he the best receiver regardless of who he's throwing to? People keep saying, well, he was throwing to the 3s and the 4s, but when he went up to the 2s, his percentage got better. It didn't get worse. It went up. He was 18 to 21 throwing to the 2s in 2 days. Is what I'm saying. He processes information greatly. He was taught by some of the best quarterbacks to play the game. And I ain't talking about just Tom Brady. I ain't talking about Tom Brady. Tom Brady wasn't the only professional quarterback that taught Shedeur. So what I'm saying is, if Cleveland don't smarten up, if they don't get their shit together, appreciate it, Roger. If Cleveland don't smarten up and get their shit together, they are going to put themselves behind the 8 ball when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. It's obvious to everyone watching, to everyone in the building, that Shedeur is the best they have. They just got to act like it. They just got to stop putting this front to the media as if he's not, as if we're making him work his way through, making him gather up, making him earn his spot. Just go on and swallow that pill and say, look, he is it. And this is where we're going. So let everybody get on the same page and move forward from here. It's kind of crazy to continue to watch them say, yes, it's an open quarterback battle. For who, for why? We understand Joe Flacco has been in this offense and has seen it and done it. We understand all that, Frederick, Arthur. We understand all that. But what you need to understand is, are they better than him? He's going to have some growing pains. He's going to have some problems. No, he's not going to be the greatest. But you know who ain't gonna grow no more? Who ain't in their prime no more? Who didn't reach their ceiling? Who has not too much learning to do? Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders has plenty of growing room. Those two don't. We know Flacco done peaked out. Shit, he done punched through the ceiling. Kenny Pickett, We just don't know what to say. You got to remember, Philadelphia got rid of him. Their backup quarterback, Philadelphia got rid of Kenny Pickett for DTR and a 5th-round pick. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson was worse than Kenny Pickett. Well, he was the only quarterback in Cleveland to beat Kenny Pickett. And they traded him for Kenny Pickett. What the hell? What the hell, Deontay? Is all I'm saying. Y'all let me know. Let's bust in some of these comments and see what y'all talking about over here. Because it's wild. It's wild over here. Let's get to the comment section. See what we fussing. Because I know it's been some fussing. And it's been some shit going on over here on the YouTube areas. Y'all talk to me and let me know what's going on. Pickett 1st-round bust. Hell yeah, Pickett's a bust. Please get killed Wilson 33 out with his line. Shedeur is a great player. Everyone can see it in his accuracy. Patrick Epps. I like what the Bears are doing with Caleb. Upgraded the coach and the receivers and the O-line to give him the best possible chance. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Patrick. Cleveland hasn't done that. They haven't even attempted to do that. I heard Miami was looking at Dillon, but Cleveland got him first. Miami should have been looking at Dillon. But Dillon is a better fit, Patrick, in Miami because Dillon is a left-handed quarterback. And so is Tua. And with a left-handed quarterback, that means your offense has to flip. And if he was backing up Tua in Miami, he'd be the perfect fit. And we know Tua ain't going to last long. He is concussion prone for everybody. He going to get, sooner or later, somebody going to ding him up. You know, we got trolls in the chat, Kia. You know, you got to let them troll for a little while, as long as they don't say nothing stupid. Kid Wilson, we don't care about who you playing with and supporting. No, we don't care. Mo say, I think he's going to be the greatest black quarterback ever because they are motivating him to be legendary. I don't know, Mo. We'll see what the future holds. But Shedeur has been put up against the odds his entire college career. And he's beating them every freaking year. So he's going to probably go into this year like no other, Charles, Arthur, you know. Buckeye Polly says if Shedeur steals that job, that means Stefanski and Berry don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks, which means half of them can pick them better than them, and they're trying to, and they should be fired. I already said that. I think Haslam and Berry should be fired at the end of this season because we already can see how they're valued. If they are looking to get a quarterback in next year's draft, at the end of this year, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry should be fired. It's just that simple. Because then you would have picked 3 quarterbacks in 2 years, which makes no sense. What's up, y'all? You cooking today? Yeah. Miami drafted Ewers, and he's better than Gabriel. Well, I'm in Texas, so I ain't going to talk about Quinn Ewers, you know what I'm saying? But I'm an Alabama boy. Quinn Ewers suck, dog. I ain't going to even lie. Quinn Ewers is trash. Robert, great show, Big Snacks, is always coming up with the big facts. Don't kick me for trolling them trolls. Oh, you know you good, Robert. Everybody on TikTok. y'all ain't been hitting the like button, man. TikTok over here tripping, y'all. They ain't been punching the screen and doing their job. But I don't stream too much on TikTok, but I got the stream up to date just for the hell of it. Because I want to see if I'm going to continue streaming on TikTok like I stream on YouTube. Because on YouTube, we show out. The comments popping, everything popping. East Coast Kev, New Orleans could have drafted Shedeur. New Orleans could have drafted Shedeur, but New Orleans did not. I told people this. New Orleans didn't want Shedeur. Because if they drafted Shedeur, they would not be able to draft who they want next season, which is Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier is going to the New Orleans Saints next year, and I'm going to keep saying it. And when he gets drafted to the Saints, I want y'all to beat them up the same way y'all beat Colorado up, the same way y'all beat Jackson State up with those nepotism comments because somebody was playing for their daddy. That's all I'm saying. Still mad we could have had Shedeur and Travis. Yes, but you know, that's just the dumbest thing they ever done. Haslam should be looking for a new coach and GM instead of a new quarterback. I recommend Antonio Pierce. Appreciate that, Roger Johnson. Roger been popping off today. No, you wouldn't have drafted Shedeur. They were waiting on Nussmeier so he can play for his pop. That's right, Jared Jackson. He is waiting. New Orleans is waiting on Nussmeier. To be honest, G, I'm really not familiar with the quarterback talent next year, but who is better than Ward and Sanders is? LSU quarterback that good? No, Garrett Nussmeier is not that good. He's just going to get drafted to the Saints because that's where his daddy at. That's where his daddy at. What's up, Reb? What's up, David? That's where his daddy at. Cam Ward ain't working out with no backup. He knows Shedeur got blackballed. Cam Ward is in Miami working out with Shedeur. What the hell are you talking about, Mo? What you talking about, Mo? Mo, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. Let's see if they call that daddy ball. Yeah, let's see if they gonna call that daddy. Mo, you don't know what you're talking about. Cam Ward. Well, hold on, bro. Hold on. See, I hate to do it to you, Mo. I hate to do it to you, Mo, but give me 1 second, Mo. Mo, give me 1 second, Mo. Give me 1 second, Mo. I'm going to show you something. Okay? Give me 1 second, Mo. Give me 1 second, Mo. We gonna get you together. Cause I like proving people wrong. Mo, I need you to holler at your boy. Mo. Yeah. Mo, that look like Cam working out in the same stadium Shedeur been working out in. With the same quarterback coach that Shedeur work out with. That's all I'm saying, Mo. I ain't gonna tell you wrong or nothing. I'm just saying it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But are we going to hear about Daddy Ball with Nussmeier? Nope, we ain't going to hear about it. I want Shedeur to succeed and prove the other NFL team wrong. That's going to happen. Okay, Mo, my bad if I misunderstood you. Why Shedeur ain't throwing no long passes like that? What the hell are you talking about, Shy? Shy, what you talking about? They about to have a problem on their hands if Shedeur starts week 1. He's beating Cincinnati Bengals. Defense is horrible. Yes, the Bengals are horrible. Jay, I think Mo was only saying that Cam knows Shedeur got blackballed. Yeah, Cam knows. They rolled together. Cam know what happened and what's going on. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I see you under your second account. I ain't gonna call no names, but we know who under their second account over there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call no names out right now. Yeah, invest in other parts of the offense and the team. Look at all these wasted picks on QB. Yeah, that's what they need to do. That's what they should have been doing. They should have been investing more into the team instead of investing just into the quarterback. G said, I stopped listening to the local Browns and most sports media because just tired of listening to that hate and waiting for 12 to light up the season. But I know there's a lot of local love drawn out by the media. Yeah. Local media is back and forth, Maximo. Local media, Ricky, is back and forth when it comes to Shedeur in Cleveland. They don't know which way to go. One day they're here, the next day they're gone. If you ask Pip C and Bun B, but they don't know what to do. I heard a dude the other day say he was out on Shedeur. But why are you out on Shedeur? If you were so hyped about Shedeur before the draft process, if you was hyped about Shedeur when they drafted him, what changes your mind now? Why would you even differentiate yourself now? Why would anything change? You know what I'm saying? Why would anything change about Shedeur being drafted now? Nothing should change. For the simple fact that Shedeur hasn't done anything. They ain't played no football. They just they stupid, man. I don't know. That website for their quarterback coach, both Cam and Shedeur were in Miami training with their quarterback coaches as usual. Yeah. Buckeye Paulie say, gee, the only Browns media hating is Mary Kay and Grossi. Everyone else wants him to start. Too much ESPN Cleveland. And the Browns are trying to end Shedeur's career. They can't do it because the NFL knows. They've seen it. And it's on film. So. But anyway, y'all, we've been on here, what? Over an hour 20, hour 30 minutes. We're going to get out of here. Y'all make sure y'all leave y'all comments in the comment section. Make sure before you go, hit the like button. And you know what to do when you see the CU aunties fluttering about around in the chat. Make sure you show them some love and make sure you holler at them and tell them we say we appreciate everything that they have done for us while they are around and showing all the love. Everybody on TikTok, we getting out of here. Y'all on TikTok, y'all stay around. I'm going to holler at y'all once we clear this YouTube up. But everybody on YouTube, we going to get out of here. We going to holler at y'all. Appreciate all y'all staying around, coming around, and keep coming back every time we pop the live stream up. Y'all know Saturday at 3 o'clock, we in here every day. So I'm out of here, man. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.